Our next topic of discussion, reasons for the shift of demand curve. Reasons for the shift of demand curve. Now, shift can be rightward or leftward. Please keep in your mind or take it into consideration. Learn it that whenever there is an increase in demand, the demand curve shifts to the right. If you have the demand curve like this, you have a downward sloping demand curve, and whenever there is an increase in demand, the demand curve shifts to the right, and the rightward shift is shown as a straight rightward arrow. And whenever there is a decrease in demand, the demand curve shifts to the left. Whenever there is a decrease in demand, the demand curve shifts to the left. So if this is the original demand curve, the original one, which we have mapped with the help of the demand schedule. Now as demand increases, we are coming to the reasons, but if there is an increase in demand, the demand curve will shift to the right. If there is a decrease in demand, the demand curve will shift to the left. Now taking these into considerations, we come to one by one reasons. We come to the reasons one by one. Whenever there is a change in demand for reasons other than price, because if price is the reason, then the demand changes, that falls within the law of demand. Where the other things were constant, all these were kept constant in the assumptions. I hope you remember. But when the price is not the factor, that means price is constant at a particular price, there is another reason for change in demand. Then there is a shift in demand. Okay, either to the right or to the left. Say for example, number one of the reason is change in money income. The income of the consumer changes. If there is an increase in income of the consumer, the demand increases. And as the demand increases, the demand curve shifts to the right. If the money income decreases for normal goods, the demand curve shifts to the left because demand decreases. Change in taste and preference pattern. If there is a favorable change in taste and preference pattern, no change in price, but suddenly because of your taste, because of your preference pattern, you have started liking it more. Okay, so you increase the demand for the commodity without any price change. So how the demand increases? For the favorable change in preference, so demand curve shifts to the right, and vice versa. If the unfavorable change, then the demand decreases and the demand curve shifts to the left. Change in the price of related goods. You have substitute goods, you have complementary goods. Substitute goods price rises, demand for this commodity increases, shifts to the right. Price of the complementary good increases. Demand for this commodity. Price of fuel increases, demand for car decreases. Demand curve shifts to the left for car. Okay. Price expectations in near future. If prices are expected to rise in near future, you today demand more, and as you demand more, the demand curve shifts to the right. Okay. Government policies, if subsidies are given or if taxes are imposed, automatically your demand goes down. Demand curve shifts to the left. So whenever the demand decreases for factors other than price, whenever the demand decreases, demand curve shifts to the left, and whenever there is an increase in demand for factors other than price, the demand curve shifts to the right. Okay, so I hope these are the reasons, and there may be some one or two more reasons. The factors, whatever the factors were, all the factors other than price of the commodity, all other factors are responsible for the shift of demand curve.